Hey everybody, Saturday morning here. We're with you with a Hokey video blog update talking about a big blast of Arctic air coming in as we go throughout the latter portion of the weekend. Up first though, a few slick spots would be all courtesy of some light freezing drizzle that we're seeing with falling temperatures through freezing or so. We're going to be seeing that through about mid-morning or so, and that should slacken off and we won't see much in the way of travel issues through the rest of the day. Lexington and Indianapolis have both had some issues from this though. Sunday, accumulating snow showers possible during the afternoon and the evening, and that ushers in morning lows in the single digits with wind chills below zero by the morning of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's going to be a cold one out there, folks. This morning from our Kentucky One Health SkyTrack camera, fairly clear view of the city this morning. We've seen some drizzle, some mist, a little bit of haze out there at times today. 33 the current temperature still in the city as of 8 o'clock this morning. Upper 20s in Salem, lower 30s Bedford and North Vernon. We're basically concerned from Jasper over to North Vernon and once again down toward the Frankfort area for this freezing drizzle and some of these slick spots on the area roads and mostly the overpasses and the bridges in those areas, as Lexington has had a light coating of ice on some of the vehicles this morning that were left out overnight. Yikes, not a huge deal this morning, but something to watch for sure. This drizzle really not showing up on the radar view at this time because it's just so light. What I'm going to do right now is lessen the amount of decibels here on the radar that can be seen, basically turning up the sensitivity, and there you go. You can kind of see a few of these patches of drizzle moving through, some of this not reaching the ground, kind of some false echo activity here as well, so that's why we really don't show a lot of this on air, just so we don't mislead anyone into thinking that here comes all this snow and rain. No, that's not going to be the case, but as we go throughout the morning hours, the clouds are going to be with us. We're behind a cold front right now, and that's why we've got the northwesterly winds and the cooler temperatures out there. Current pavement temperature at US 50 at Seymour, 33 degrees. Not going to be a huge deal again for the problems out there, but the bridges are probably at or below freezing in a lot of places. That's why we're concerned about that, especially toward Birdseye up there in Seymour. We were talking about 34 there for a pavement temperature in Birdseye. Frankfort's another spot to watch for. Interstate roadway temperatures at 37 degrees there, but again, the bridges, the overpasses may be a bit lower, so keep an eye on that through the morning. Should be fine during the afternoon as we get into the upper 30s. Few of these snow flurries possible over our northeastern counties today. Watch for those here on Futurecast. Not going to be a big deal as temperatures will still be marginal for any sort of accumulation. By tonight, we're down into the 20s. We'll probably see a clear slot move through as we go throughout the early morning hours of our Sunday, but that won't last long as more clouds and even some snow showers move in. Road impacts this morning, a few slick spots, but by Sunday afternoon and evening, snow showers may put down a quick light accumulation on a few of those side roads, the rural areas, the roads less traveled that won't be treated. So just watch for that, especially Monday morning, as if it's not treated in the evening, it probably won't be good to drive on during Monday morning, as the temperatures will be so cold that salt likely will not work. Here's a 7-day breakdown, and you'll see how those temperatures get down to 9 degrees by Monday morning. But let's talk about those snow showers first here on Futurecast. Bands of them moving through with this front moving through, big Arctic blast. That's why temperatures drop into the upper 20s. So snowfall ratios will actually be probably closer to 15 to 1 as we move throughout Sunday evening here as we get down to the mid-20s or so. It'll end before we get into teens, though, so no obscenely huge snowfall totals or snowfall ratios really to be concerned about, but it will stick likely as we go throughout that time frame. It's not going to be much, though, because it'll be a quick hit of snow showers in most spots, pretty much from Jasper to Lebanon and northeast to that line, including Louisville here, accumulating up to about a dusting or so. So no big deal there. Bigger deal is going to be this big blast of Arctic air coming in from the north and west. You'll see temperatures here on the GFS model down to 10 by Monday morning. We've got a morning low of 9 degrees here by Monday morning, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so thankfully the kids will not be at the bus stop. Whew! That'd be ugly otherwise, because those wind chills will be down to 0 or below, depending on your location. Now, we're going to do the 10-degree thing once again Tuesday morning, so yeah, the kids are going to have to bundle up big time for that one if you're sending them out. Now, on Wednesday, this is our next chance of accumulating snow, and this one could actually be a little bit better than what we've seen so far this season in terms of snowfall accumulation. A system weakening as it moves through Missouri and Illinois will spread less and less snow as it moves here, but it will still be strong enough, I think, to at least put down a light accumulation of snow, probably more than a dusting as it looks right now. The models have just been honing in on this over the past 24 to 48 hours, So that's why we're treading kind of carefully with this to make sure that they don't lose it again. But I think at this point we're starting to lock this in, and you'll see that we're below freezing as the 32-degree line is to our south. So if you're heading out to the U of L basketball game, shouldn't be a big deal, because what will have fallen will already be done snow-wise by 7 o'clock. Still holding on to some flurries and snow showers, though, and dropping in temperature through the night. So that'll probably spread a light accumulating snow. I think the better chance, as of the models at this point, may be just southwest of Louisville for that snow. We'll keep an eye on it otherwise. Thursday and Friday is interesting. A system moves through here that looked like it was going to be suppressed, but we see this on the models all the time this year, this time of year, I should say, where you get like a Gulf low moving across the Gulf states, suppresses all the moisture to our south, no rain, no snow, no anything here, just cooler temperatures. Now we're starting to see the models bump that to the north, as is usual with systems this time of year. As you get closer to the event, the systems trend northward, and so this is what we're looking at right now with the GFS model from Pivotal Weather. We've got the low pressure area over pretty much Dyersburg, Tennessee, as we go throughout Friday morning. And it looks like we would be on the warm side of this, and you're thinking, oh, okay, we're all right? We're just going to have to watch for a little bit of ice in our northern counties. Wrong, because the Euro model is farther south. It still suppresses it somewhat, and it starts to spread some wintry precipitation, although very light, in our southern counties. We're going to have to watch this. I think someone could see some wintry precipitation out of this in our counties, but if it keeps trending northward, it would put it more toward Indianapolis, maybe even as far north as Fort Wayne or South Bend, Indiana. We'll see how this works out. It's too early to tell. We've got to sample this system first. It's got to come on shore. It hasn't done that yet. That would probably be late tomorrow night into Monday when we start to see that. And then we also have to sample how very cold it's going to be in our counties as we go throughout our Monday morning, because that's also going to dictate how far south this will be suppressed. If we get a little bit of a snow cover on Sunday, that'll try to track the low farther south. So that's why we're watching this. No definitive answers right now. Very low confidence forecast. Looks like 40s for the next week, though. We start to moderate and warm up, maybe into the 50s for a day or two then as well. And the models are supporting that pretty well here. You'll see that the Arctic oscillation going positive, meaning not as much Arctic air to work with here in the pattern. The NAO is going positive, meaning we can't lock in said Arctic air. But the PNA still says positive too, which is actually a good thing for keeping the cold in here, because we'll have a ridge out to the east, but the trough likely over the east coast, or I should say a ridge over the west, a trough over the east, but the trough over the east likely wouldn't be as strong because of the other two factors we just discussed. Latest data is indicating we'll probably be colder, though, for the start of February here. So snow lovers, don't give up. We need to get some warm air in here to re-energize moisture in the atmosphere if you want to get some sort of big snow. It's got to be sort of a flip-flop here to get big snowstorms. We rarely get snowstorms when it's just so solidly cold. The exception being last year in February. You may remember we had a snowstorm when it was like 15 to 19 degrees. Pretty crazy. Alright, that's all I got for you now here on the Hokey video blog. Be careful for a couple of those slick spots this morning. We'll be back with you early tomorrow morning. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.